This story is about how one man deceived not only a string of girlfriends and landlords, but also the landlord and tenant board.
You know, financially I was ruined and emotionally I was ruined by this situation. And what I didn't realize was that signing a lease with this person was that I was involved in the landlord that I was signing the lease with, that we were all involved in a scam. He was dishonest about his name, he was dishonest about his credit history, he was dishonest about the last address he lived at, his references.
Adam writes checks he doesn't have the money for, and when they bounce he makes excuses, and then they go to the landlord-tenant board and that buys him time. And he's done it over and over and over again over a period of many years. It's the same pattern.
That became very apparent when we were then in front of the landlord-tenant tribunal being evicted from this place, and my name was on the lease.
Crystal is a former partner of Adam. They met online. They did live together, but broke up, Crystal says, shortly after she discovered that Adam was, in fact, writing large checks to their mutual landlord that were bouncing.
He was a divorced man, and he had a child, and my family, you know, I was never married and I didn't have children, and my family said, you know, you should know details about, you know, does he pay spousal support? Does he, like, this is something you should ask him before you move in. And so I asked him, can I see your separation agreement? You know, I was intuitive enough to ask, can I see certain things? And I asked him about his finances, but around finances, he was very agitated and secretive. And that should have been a red flag for me.
The new charges, which are allegations which Adam says he's committed to facing, add up to 147 and are being heard in 2 Toronto courts. He's been convicted of defrauding a previous partner, and he's also been found guilty of providing false and misleading information to the landlord and tenant board in the past.
I think it was easy for him to keep doing what he was doing because there was no way for me to know that he had been before the tenant landlord board already 5 times. So from a tenant perspective, trying to safeguard yourself after you've signed a lease and trying to use the system that the board has in place, it doesn't work.
Crystal says that she decided to contact the Star after she read a series of stories that we wrote about the landlord and tenant board.
I know that the system doesn't work. I know that even advocates trying to help you are stalled by this flawed system. And so in the end, it was only really the police that could do anything. So I don't want to encourage people to just call the police, but at the same time, if we don't change the system, then there's no other choice.
The biggest flaw that we've identified in the landlord and tenant board system is the secrecy that people who are repeat offenders are allowed to enjoy. Nobody can walk in off the street and look up Adam's record, even though he's admitted to the Star that he's been before the board at least 5 times since 2008. He has, in fact, defrauded the board. He's written them bad checks that have bounced, and you can't know any of that.
If I was speaking from my own situation in my heart, I would say, yes, there should be something where it should be more public. But there's also a side of me that's, you know, worried for people who legitimately fall on hard times and are living in poverty. I really think there needs to be a change, and I feel compelled now, knowing that there's been other people going through the same situation as me, I feel compelled to get involved and try to make change with the landlord-tenant system. It's a system that seems to be very flawed for all parties, except for criminals.